Today we are talking about Introduction to Jazz Guitar by Jane Miller. We are talking about Introduction to Jazz Guitar by Jane Miller, and I will play some short examples for us, including Jane Miller's original chord solo, chord melody, at the end of this episode. Jane Miller is an American jazz guitarist, composer, arranger, and writer. She is professor of guitar at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and her teaching material can be found printed in Acoustic Guitar Magazine, Premier Guitar Magazine, and also she is a jazz guitar instructor for online platform gemplay.com. So this volume, Introduction to Jazz Guitar by Jane Miller, is designed for beginning level and intermediate level jazz guitar students, and you will learn to play jazz chords and scales and understand how they relate to each other. Improvise over jazz chords progressions and song forms. Navigate 2/5s, rhythm changes and other typical jazz progressions and forms. Master jazz grooves and develop your sense of timing and swing. Accompany other musicians and contribute to jazz rhythm section. Gain deeper understanding of the fingerboard, learning many useful fingerings for scales and movable chord forms all around the neck. Practice efficiently for maximum improvement of your technique and musicality. Let's start with introducing 7 different C major scale fingerings, and this is what they sound like. We can play all our scales in so many different ways. For example, we can play scale patterns, and here's one example. This example is introducing some basic chord voicings for diminished chord and some basic fingerings for diminished scale. Here are some basic chord forms for 7th chords in the key of C major. Let's check them out. Let's embellish these 7 chords and add on some color tones, some tensions, 9s, sharp 9s, flat 9s, and 13s, and many more. Let's check them out. Vulcan bass line is a very effective form of accompaniment both on double bass and guitar, and this is short chord progression from jazz standard Autumn Leaves. jazz tradition features some traditional song forms and structures, for example, blues and rhythm changes. Here is the example of jazz blues. This is our last example. It is a chord solo, chord melody, written by Jane Miller. This book is designed for beginning level and intermediate level jazz guitar students. It talks about scales, chords, basic forms of accompaniment, rhythm, ear training, song structures and song forms such as blues and rhythm changes, and it shares some essential tips and encouragement for daily guitar practicing. So I would like to say thank you to Jane Miller, Berklee Press, and Ho Leonard. I hope you like it, and until next time, here in Dublin, Ireland.